Hello! I didn't just flip off Fox while doing a count in.
He counted in with his thumb and 2 fingers. So he just wound up with a single deuce.
Yeah. And then counted up from that. Yeah, it made sense in my head when I started it. Hi, I'm Talen Lee, he, him.
I'm Fox Lee, I'm she, her.
And we watch anime together, and this is a conversation we would be having anyway without you, chat. But we're doing it with a recording device and presentation. Because I'm one step shy of making a PowerPoint presentation anytime I want to make a point in my life. I've resisted the urge to make a graph. But I came close this year. I came real close.
You're not quite chart pervert here, but I know you want to be.
I'm not a chart...
I think you should give into it.
I'm not actually a chart pervert because those people have to be somewhat good at interpreting charts. I just like using charts to make my points.
Oh, you only have to love them.
Anyway,
Don't gatekeep perversion, Talon.
This is about the anime that aired between April and July. Well, March through July of 2026, which I understand is some season of anime if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, but there's no point me labeling anything with a season because you don't use the same seasons as us, and quite frankly, I find keeping track of them annoying.
Yeah!
Q2.
Get him! Q2!
Yes.
Yeah. That's more catchy anyway.
Anything you want to say before we start showing things off?
I think I already did.
Alright then. First of all, let's talk about the anime that we tried and dropped.
There's a surprising amount of that this season because there's a surprising amount of anime we cared enough to watch this season.
Yeah, we did a fairly healthy sample platter this season. If you're interested in the statistics, and that's why I'm telling you I'm not making charts for this stuff, we had 34 anime on our to inspect list.
Is that a record for us? That's gotta be.
Yeah, that's easily the biggest season we've ever had. Now, of that, did those all wind up getting involved? No, not even close.
Well, no, and that's why we're looking at this screen.
There's a lot of stuff where when we do our initial watch through and look at all the trailers, that Fox will mark as T and I will mark as F, which is, I'll watch this if Fox is watching it, or she'll watch it if I'm watching it. And it just so happens that a bunch of shows this season, Fox thought, surely Talon will have some interest in that. I guess I'll check it out if he does. And Fox's hit rate on this was terrible.
Look, it's not because I assumed you'd have some interest. It's because, I don't care about this. But it doesn't repel me enough that I would say no if the love of my life was want to watch this together.
Yeah. The stuff that went through that first wave of investigations, we then watched at least 2 episodes of, and that means that this season we have watched some of and dropped Ghost Concert Missing Songs,
Petals of Reincarnation,
Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku,
Even a Replica Can Fall in Love,
I Want to Quit This Love Game,
Even a Replica... Hey! Sonoki's Garden of Gods.
And an observation log of my fiancée who calls herself a villainess. Fox, do you feel the need to talk about any of these in any depth?
Not in any depth, but I did kind of want to do just a quick overview, I guess.
Boop, boop, boop.
Ghost Concert. Cute characters, cute concept, execution dreadful. Just very bad. Vague. Pacing, bizarre, direction choices, incomprehensible.
You know how when you play a rhythm game and none of the story beats are actually meant to line up because the important thing is just getting to the next DJ Amuro track?
Actually, yeah, it is paced a lot like a rhythm game.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah. And as with a lot of stuff that's coming out recently, it wants to talk about AI in the context of the arts. And It does not have the boots for that hike or any hike at all.
I don't know, maybe it gets to somewhere with it, but I don't. It wasn't interesting enough that I wanted to see if it actually had an opinion or if it was just going, that sure is a thing that people care about right now.
It's also an anime that's ostensibly about music that gets completely blown out of the water by multiple opening themes this season. So,
that's
yeah.
True. Petals of Reincarnation. Once again, interesting concept. Dogshit logic. Edgelord nonsense. I like the idea of, like, you might call upon a special talent from a past life, but, like, all of the past lives are, like, these remarkable, historically important people, and you're like, if it's all reincarnations, why are people like, only one of these for starters? Like, you're telling me that none of these famous guys reincarnated into another guy who also became famous? Specifically, when these powers are available to them as well. It's just a gotcha thing. It's just I'm gonna design the wackiest character I can possibly imagine based on rolls dice. Isaac Newton, so he's an apple.
I think we watched episodes of this by mistake.
I think we watched one episode of this.
But, yeah, we dropped it after one, but I'm
that's true.
This was meant to be a different show on the list of stuff to check out.
Because the name is Reincarnation no Kaben. And we were after a different reincarnation show, the weird experimental multimedia gag reincarnation thing. And accidentally, I couldn't find that, so we got this instead, and it's not good.
Yeah, I was not possessed of such an interest as to go look for that either, so here we go.
Which is a shame, because it's a really sick idea to have a character whose special talent is stealing shit, and there's a lot of interesting things you could do with that. But unfortunately, they get to, if I could just use it to insta-kill someone in the first sort of 20 minutes, and you're not going very far from there.
You're spending so much more time on this than I would have.
Gals can't be kind to otaku. That's another popular girl with nerdy guy. Everyone's just nice to each other, and there would be no tension if these people knew what polycules were.
Yeah.
It's cute, it's harmless, we dropped it because it was boring, not because it's bad.
Yeah, it's a cute enough manga, and I've checked it out, but I wasn't expecting it to hold up 13 episodes. The central premise, that one of the girls is secretly an otaku, and that's her appeal, and the other one isn't at all, but she's still really nice and supportive of the otaku interests. And, like, these are two interesting polarities.
Yeah.
But mostly it just makes me think, well, they should make out with each other.
Yep, they sure should. The guy's not bringing a lot to the party.
Uh-huh.
In a different season, we would have watched it all the way through. But this season was stacked, so it fell by the wayside. So did Replica. Which is, once again, a really interesting premise of, like, if you created a copy of yourself that shared all your memories, but then had, like, different experiences from that point on, is that a real person? Does it have the right to live its own life? Is it okay to treat it like a disposable thing? That's all kind of interesting stuff. Most of the screen time in this is just doing romance anime tropes. And it's not... I would like to get to the meat of it a lot faster, and then I'd be interested in it, but it was just slow and predictable and wasn't doing anything particularly cool.
I know the twist of this series.
There's a twist!
And knowing that twist, watching the episodes we did, I became convinced that there was no way it could make that twist interesting.
Oh.
Like, I know where it's going, and I went, oh, I don't want to go there.
You'll have to tell me where it's going later, because I'm curious.
Yeah, because we haven't put up a spoiler warning yet.
Okay, want to quit this love game. This is not something that I would normally have picked up, but it is very, very nicely produced. Or at least, the bits of it that are in the trailer are very, very nicely produced. The actual episodes have a bizarre tendency to pop into 3D stuff.
Yeah, only once or twice, but it was enough to really wall out. Like,
and in places that made no fucking sense. Like, why swap to a 3D model for a largely still shot?
A long-distance still shot.
Yeah, very weird choices.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the subject matter is just the two most tsundere humans alive, sinning at each other as hard as they possibly... They're too stupid to live.
And it's a show about teenagers. Look,
Yep. If you like Doubleton, this is probably gonna delight you. But you could also watch Kaguya-sama.
We watch a lot of high school slice of life comedy stuff. At least a little of.
Yeah, not intentionally. It just keeps fucking happening.
And as a result, we tend to stick with the stuff that I think is generally the best. And part of being the best is not dithering around. Your jokes are refreshing. Your characters, even the characters who are familiar archetypes, they at least all, like, work. This one is probably a really solid 7 out of 10 in that genre. And I just don't need that. I only need the 10s when it comes to this genre.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Garden of Gods, I really wanted to like. It's obviously Timu Natsume's Book of Friends, but, you know, there's only 7 seasons of Natsume's Book of Friends. We could always do with some more of that, but it's just kind of less good in every way. It's mostly just, you know, here's another cute critter thing, look at the cute critter thing, and absolutely nothing happens, which is probably, once again, if you want something that is just zero effort, zero investment, Iyashikei kind of hanging around the house stuff, this might be delightfully for you. For me, the designs were not cool enough to make the lack of anything going on very interesting.
Yeah, no disrespect meant here. I fully expect, by the way, in like 2 years' time, Fox will have watched all of this, but it'll be like one evening she wasn't feeling very well and she just binged it all in the bath.
Yeah, I ran out of shows I actually wanted to watch, and then there was this.
Yeah, zero challenge, zero difficulty.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect to it. Some people do need a big warm bowl of congee. It's fine.
Yeah.
Observation log of my fiancée who calls herself a villainess. Whew, this one had a hard road to hoe.
This is probably the thing I'm most disappointed to have given up on. Because I had high hopes for it. You know, it's a different villainess thing. In that it's...
In this one, it focuses on the guy.
Well, yes. And that should be interesting, because he should be a point-of-view character for us. Providing, you know, a dramatic... comedic irony? Yeah. Because, you know, we know everything that's going on for the isekai protagonist girl, and he doesn't understand it, so he'd be, you know, making all kinds of observations, and we'd be like, yeah, that sure is how villainous shit works. But it's mostly just that he's too smart to ever have problems, and his attitude towards her is just kind of condescending sometimes.
To be as fair as I possibly can to this thing that I don't like, we watched 2 episodes.
Sure.
It's entirely possible that later on they get to the point and give him this actual, like, surprise. Here is something that's actually going to be hard for you. But I couldn't be bothered. And
if you've gone through 2 whole episodes where it's mostly him monologuing about how he's already fixed things.
Yeah.
That's just not for me. And she would be more enjoyable if she was substantially more unhinged. As it is, she's mostly normal girl who occasionally remembers she's supposed to be an enthusiastic... Like, she's playing the part, which is something you don't see in villainess anime. They're always trying to avoid being the villain, but she's like, no, if I'm a villainess, I'm gonna be fucking great at it. And that's cool. But she just forgets it pretty readily and turns back into a regular romance heroine.
I have a deep hate in my heart for media that walks into a space of an existing genre and tries to make it about something else without any seeming respect for it. And this feels like someone looked at all the villainess anime and went, those are pretty hot right now. I should make one of those. But the person making it doesn't give a shit about women.
It's a bit like that. I don't think it followed through on its premise in a way that was at all satisfying.
Yeah. And, like, if it's an observation log of my fiancé, he should be the most autistic weirdo in the world. He should be, like, you know, taking field notes like she's a strange bug.
Yeah, and he is kind of a bit like that, but he doesn't go far enough. But neither of them go far enough. They should have bigger personalities for such a stupid premise, and it would be a lot more fun.
Anyway, that's enough of the drops.
Enough of the drop. Yep.
Now we're talking about spoiler warnings for Agents of the Four Seasons, Dance of Spring,
Akane-Banashi,
Always a Catch,
Ascendance of Bookworm, the 4th one,
Demons of the Shadow Realm, which Fox will never call that,
Eren the Southpaw,
Go for it, Nakamura-Kun,
Liar Game,
Mao,
MARRIAGETOXIN, it's all one word for some reason,
The Ramparts of Ice,
Scenes from Awajima.
Witch Hat Atelier.
Is that it? That feels like it. God, that's a good list.
Yep. First up, we have Always a Catch, How I Punched My Way into Marrying a Prince.
Nigashita sakana wa okikatta ga tsuriyageta sakana ga okitsugita ken.
I love how one of the features
Yeah,
of this
good
series,
enough.
I love how one of the features of this series is at this point, you just cold reading some Romanji off the screen.
Hey, it's the pronunciation is predictable. even if the intonation isn't.
And there are definitely people watching this video who
Oh,
are going to
yeah.
hear, always a catch how I punch my way into marrying a prince and go, what's that? And then hear you say that and go, oh, of course. Okay, get that the guy stuck on a head. Like, yeah, of course, I should have known that.
Look, I'm gonna do it as long as they keep giving at least one show a season a weird name that's not good enough. This season, it's Demons of the Shadow Realm.
Renowned Japanese linguist and name expert. I am the word decider.
Hey.
You're not wrong.
I am not an expert in Japanese. I am an expert in giving things good names. I've named some excellent things in my time.
People have heard of some of them.
Yes.
All right. So, Always a Catch is a Japanese light novel series written by Mayo Momoyo and illustrated by Itsuki Mito. And it began publication as a short story on the user-generated novel publishing website Shotetsuka Ninaro in 2020. What's this one about, Fox?
This is about, thank you, Ellie. This is a show where our main character, Mimi, is a minor noble from bumfuck nowhere, who was raised to succeed her father's martial arts dynasty because he hadn't managed to have a kid, only like 6 daughters. Sorry, a son, only like 6 daughters. And then he accidentally has a son. So now she has been charged with go marry someone good instead.
Just some fucking guy.
But the problem is, she really liked being head of a martial arts dynasty, and it left her with a terminal case of being tremendous. So she is, outspoken and doesn't fit in noble society no matter how hard she tries. And this leads directly to her while she is defending her lovely, extremely ladylike friend against her fiancé cruelly casting her aside or trying to. And she just accidentally makes him fall in love with her instead, which is great because she doesn't like him. She likes his brother. Also, he's the prince.
Yeah. Look, as with light novels of the 2010s, if you've read the title, you've pretty much got the plot.
That is, yes. Though I don't recall her punching anyone in the first altercation, even though I thought she should. But
It's the first episode, Fox.
yeah. Well.
She punches the guy.
Oh, she punches a guy, but that's not why he falls in love with her at last check.
Stay tuned when we rewatch
I
Always
don't
a
even
Catch.
remember. It was a long time ago. Anyway, this is a fluffy nothing of a show.
Yeah.
But as far as fluffy nothings of a show go, it consistently did not do the stupid tropey romance thing that it would normally have done, and instead did the thing that I was sitting in the chair going, yeah, punch him! Instead. And that makes me happy. It's also really nicely made, like, much better than it needs to be. They should have had a budget of nothing. And instead it had a budget of, we can actually do a fight scene.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They're using it well. They're being thrifty.
Yeah. Look, the title and premise of this one writes a check it can't quite cash, in my opinion.
It's not quite as good as it should be.
Mm-hmm. And there are comparisons to, within its genre, the kind of thing it is, where it doesn't really quite...
Oh, just say it.
No. I'm not just thinking of,
Okay.
May I Ask for One Final Thing. I'm also thinking of The Holy Grail of Eris for the same platform and the same general... Like, you're watching the characters first and foremost kind of thing, and there is a degree of intrigue and conspiracy in this. It's just, it's not as much. There's cool fights of this princess beating the shit out of people, but not as many as I would have hoped for.
Oh yeah, that's not what it's about. It's a romance thing with jokes that are fight scenes, and the fight scenes are way better animated than you would expect them to be to something that's not about fight scenes.
Yeah. From the category of where it came from, it's definitely not the worst thing. It's easily in the top 5.
Yeah, it's probably the second best thing, honestly.
Yeah, well,
Unless you consider it a villainess show, in which case, Bakurina obviously comes first.
well, I'm thinking of specifically Shoshetsuka Ninaro, which is where we also got such things as campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill,
That's not good.
and Kunin the sorcerer can
That's
see,
fucking garbage.
and oh dang it, what's his name? The noble's everyday life in another world.
Oh, that too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Kunon's a great example, actually. Like, that is as cheap as I expected this to be.
Mm-hmm. And we watched a surprising number of anime that came from this place last season.
Yeah, and most of them were bad.
Yeah.
This is not bad. This is good, even. It's not great, but it's good.
I'll meet you at definitely not bad. And this is I think this is a really interesting example of a personal gulf. Like, I don't think if someone told me this is their favorite anime, that's not a mark against them. That's not surprising. It's built out of things you're meant to like. And the fact that it just doesn't line up with my preferences is, exactly, that's just normal. There's nothing in here that there's no red flags. There's nothing sus. It's just not as much of any of the things it offered as I wanted. And now to do the comparison that I know you'll be like, One Final Thing has like a tight plot and a really consistent, you're gonna watch her beat the shit out of someone every single episode. We're gonna set it up to have a big dramatic moment. There's gonna be a cool music sting. It's a different kind of execution on the similar idea of a punch princess. And the fact that I like One Final Thing so much is in spite of the things about One Final Thing that should be better. Whereas in this case, it's doing the best it can, and its highs just aren't that high for me.
I would say its highs are not as high and its lows are not as low.
Yeah.
And One Final Thing is about how cool she is at fighting.
Yeah.
This is not.
Yeah.
It's about how fun she is to be in a relationship with.
Yep.
Which is a fine thing to be about. It's just not as cool as if it was about punching. On the other hand, Scarlet's prince fucking sucks.
Yep.
And this prince doesn't suck. He's not that great. He could still use a little bit of brushing up on his consent. But, like, for example, there is a scene where she is unconscious and they make like he is going to kiss her and he does not.
Yep.
Whereas Scarlet's prince, she would have had to punch him to avoid that.
I don't agree, but that's okay.
Anyway.
On the other hand, this has been a wonderful festival of fantastic... Well, you've heard of English, right? Mm-hmm. This is a festival of Italian names.
Oh, yeah, that's true. There's some wacky... I mean, Japan doing Western fantasy names. It's always like this. It's almost like a part of the genre now.
My favorite is Raimondo Segata, which I'm reasonably certain is a type of tobacco product.
At least nobody here is called Aquasteed.
Yeah, no, they're not even dumb. It's just delightful seeing all these different, very much... Like, the author has clearly actually done some research into Italian-style names. None of these are unhinged. It's fun hearing them pronounced that way. All right, you good?
Yeah.
All right. Ascendance of a Bookworm. Adopted daughter of an Archduke, a.k.a. the next part of Ascendance of a Bookworm.
Onzuki no Gekkokujo, Shisho ni naru tame ni wa shida no erandeiraremasen. That's a long one.
Yep. Like I said, just cold reading off the cards. It's going to be hard.
I was going to say season 4.
Uh-huh.
And everybody knows what Ascendance of a Bookworm is anyway. I'm vamping because something fell off the desk.
Specifically, my mouse.
And Ellie's barking.
All right.
That's all happening.
Yeah, everyone knows about Ascendance of a Bookworm, but specifically, this is season 4 of an anime whose last season was aired in 2022. So it is a little bit worth covering the very rudimentaries, which is to say, this is a series about a girl who gets isekai'd into another world where they don't have ready access to books, and she loves books. So she's willing to single-handedly cause the Industrial Revolution in order to make sure she can read books.
Which is a great pitch.
Yeah. Sadly, it's a little lost at this point, but we are at the fucking around in your house stage of an isekai narrative here.
We did get back to some solid, progress in the book printing sector.
Yeah.
But consistently the biggest problem with this show is that it's very capitalism brained.
Yeah.
So the medium through which she will achieve this goal is very inherently connected to enriching the merchant class that is willing to support her and following the rules of the church and the nobility and just giving rich people what they want a lot of the time. And it does push back against that a bit. But this is a world very much in need of sweeping changes, and there is not enough burning it down going on in the show.
Yeah, it's... also, because I forgot to mention, it's written by Miya Kazuki and illustrated by Yoshina. Yeah, I'm a very much a sunk cost with Bookworm at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I realized that if they didn't release another season, I would actually feel pretty okay with that, because then I wouldn't have to watch it, which is a bad sign. That's not a good place to be.
It's not a relationship we should have with a piece of media.
It's real filler arcs of Bleach mood. But also, it's not even technically over. This is a double core, so we're getting another 12 episodes into the next season.
Which is good, because the last episode did not feel like a conclusion.
True, but at the same time, I also don't care to see what happens next, which is not a good sign.
Not a good sign. This season does have her needing to summon a fucking spirit beast to be a steed.
Yeah.
And because she is who she is, she makes like a baby red panda version of a cat bus.
Yeah.
And it's extremely cute.
Yeah.
So, that's cool and nice. Otherwise,
yeah. No disrespect to the Ascendance of the Bookworm.
Oh, and she has a cool lady guard.
Yeah, they've introduced a second character I care about.
And done nothing with her.
Yeah, well, Ripperoonie.
Hope springs eternal.
This is so here is the big thing about this series as a conversation topic when it comes to this kind of thing, which is, can I recommend you watch Ascendance of a Bookworm knowing that it's committing you to something like 100 episodes at this point? And I don't think I can.
I mean, that's a question someone can only answer for themselves, right? Like, if you're the kind of person who's going to get stuck in that and not be able to escape even if you decide you don't like it, stay away.
I have been told that the light novels have been translated into English.
Ooh.
And in which case I would recommend, sight unseen, check those out, because light novels necessarily have a very different pace. And if you want to marinate in the experience of what it's like to live in the cathedral or whatnot, then those books will let you do that. But if you're like me and you're like, I would like to continue advancing the narrative, then you can flip through those bits faster.
And unlike a lot of the other anime in this video, this one is not particularly beautifully made. It's fine, but the rough edges definitely show. Not as bad as they did in the previous 3 seasons. It's always been pretty cheap, which is weird because it has a prestige kind of feel to it in terms of subject matter, but it's always been mid to low on the production values. So it's not a thing which is worth looking at purely for the beauty and artistry of it in that sense either.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it's been pandered here. Fox doesn't know. The first production company that did the first 3 seasons is Aijido, which I don't have any names I can attach to them for like work you'd know.
Nope.
But their most recent 4th season is made by Studio Wit. And they had to apologize for and remove the AI generated backgrounds in the opening.
Oh, cool.
So,
but they did remove them? That's nice.
Yeah. I don't know if we've seen those, but like, just like, yeah, they're doing their best, I guess, but also please don't do it that way.
Don't let that shit in.
Yeah. Nonetheless, Ascendance of a Bookworm. It's like recommending Bleach or One Piece or Naruto. It's a long hauler. Lock in if you want to, but that's a problem that's going to come up with a couple of things this season.
You could do a lot worse.
Yeah, and I guess the thing that's really dinging me here is that I'm remembering that I thought of the first couple of seasons as really properly great, and now it's gone from that really great, scrappy underdog, how do we do what we can do with minimal access to resources and assets, and part of the barrier being that one of the characters here is a child, to now, well, we've got to appeal to these royal nobles and these lords and whatnot, and that is the most boring economic power system to me. I cannot
We
stand
had
it.
at least like 3 different, almost entire episodes that would just suck up ceremonies for the nobles. And like, I'm sick of seeing that.
Yeah.
It was more exciting at the start.
Anyway, you good?
Yeah.
All right.
Moving on.
Mao.
Mao.
All right. Mao is a.
It's my turn.
This feels dumb to introduce, but Mao.
We have Inuyasha at home.
Well, Mao is a Japanese series written and illustrated by Rumiko Takahashi.
Holy shit, I know
And
her.
The anime is produced by Sunrise. By all means, plot away, Fox.
We have a protagonist called Nanaka who thinks of herself as an ordinary high school girl until she accidentally walks through a haunted ? Shopping arcade and winds up in what's the era I can't remember. Post First War, pre Second War. Taisho, thank you. It's not the time Inuyasha is set in, which is very important because this is very different from Inuyasha.
Yeah, that's the Sengoku.
Yeah. It's very different.
Hey, Fox, ask me how many Japanese eras I know and how I know them.
I know at least 2 more than that.
Yeah, but those are the 2 I know.
Yeah. That's the 2 everybody knows. Anyway, our male lead is Mao, who's an exorcist who accidentally got cursed by a demon or something and is now immortal. So he's like been around for a couple 100 years already. He comes from Inuyasha time. And they may or may not be some kind of related because she seems to have some demon in her as well. How did it get there? It definitely wasn't when she mysteriously survived a terrible accident that killed her whole family and left her living with her grandfather and a weird maid who keeps giving her medicines that make her feel absolutely horrible. And that definitely has nothing to do with the fact that she's like weak and sickly and can't even run a foot race without collapsing and needing to go to the nurse's office. We're gonna meet a bunch of guys connected to Mao who all have this two-tone black and white hair and cool backstories and also seemingly cannot die.
And at least one girl.
And at least a girl.
A gathering of the 7 guys.
And I'm not selling this very well or making it sound particularly good, but that's fine. You know what you came for. This is gonna be some yokai supernatural action shit. Guys are gonna fight a lot and be very serious at one another. There's not nearly as much sort of comedy stuff going on as Inuyasha.
Yeah.
And the characters' personalities are much smaller. Mao's just kind of a serious, pleasant person most of the time, rather than, you know, a douchebag like Inuyasha. And there's probably supposed to be some kind of romance going on between them because Nanaka appears to get pissed off when she thinks another girl is interested in Mao or he's pining for a lost love in a way that suggests they're romantically interested. But frankly, I don't fucking see it. I don't see any tension there.
Now Fox is done with the fandom wiki description of Mao. Yeah, this is a series by Rumiko Takahashi getting to do the stuff that she really loves to do, which is a preponderance of historical fashion and monsters, and occasionally just horrifying implications for people in the modern world. Like
Nasty ass body horror.
Yeah, she loves her some nasty body horror, whether it's a body being made of something or a body being turned into something. Look, Rumiko Takahashi was born in the 40s. This is not going to be groundbreaking to anyone, and one of the reasons it's hard to describe this anime as if it has something new going on or it's exciting or interesting is because it's being made by the person who kind of got to define what both rom-coms and harem anime were. Yeah.
You've pretty much seen this before, but it was her who did it the first time as well.
Yeah, so. and your favorite mangaka copied her.
It's true. And, like, none of this is bad, really.
No.
It's not as cool as it should be, but it's still cool. It's got lots of cool yokai fights and spirit monster shit, and it's got all the classics. There's a spider demon that'll replace your head, and...
Which she did in Inuyasha.
And, like, a cool water demon that's made up of other guys.
Which she did in Inuyasha.
And a hot-headed, stupid rival who thinks you killed his girlfriend. Well, I mean, your mutual girlfriend, but he's wrong.
Which they did in Inuyasha.
And an insufferably cool guy who's pretty much a villain, but sometimes he's doing some good guy stuff. And you're obviously supposed to think he's the hot one.
Are you doing this on purpose?
And the guy who's like lied to and manipulated everyone here, but is also absolutely the prettiest guy around.
All right. The point is that this is a pretty good show, and I would like to point out that there is one thing about it that I genuinely think is bad.
Oh, yeah?
The opening track, there is a phenomenon you might have heard in modern music called volume pumping. I don't know how to describe it, but I can tell you when it happens because Fox clutches at her ears and gets ill.
It's when you drop out and rapidly restore the volume. It happens in a lot of like club, techno, dubsteppy, EDM. Like all of these genres are prone to do it sometimes. And also lo-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes, interestingly enough. But it's just basically you kill the volume entirely and then you bring it back really quickly. So it's kind of a jerk between silence and the normal volume. And it makes me feel physically ill for some reason. It just, my eardrums, it's probably related to all my fucked up sinuses and shit, but I can't handle it. So we had to skip the ending theme a couple of times when it got going or mute it.
Opening.
Yeah. Ending theme is a very cute sort of J-poppy girl thing with super cutesy vocals.
Yeah, no, look, themes this season were also a bit of a blowout. So
beautiful graphics in the ending theme as well. Lots of like era appropriate traditional Japanese patterns and like the kind of stuff you'd see on wallpaper. And
oh yeah, this series does also include one of Takahashi's favorite things, which is animated zip tone. Like a character is
that's what it is, of course.
A character has completely static pattern on some of their clothes as they move around, and she just loves that stuff.
Listen, if you're gonna have someone wear lace gloves, you don't have a lot of other options. That's what you're gonna do.
Well, no, that's what your assistants are for, right?
No one is drawing the patterns on lace gloves on every frame, okay? That's not happening.
I need to show you Dog's Red when that gets an anime adaptation. But moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. The Ramparts of Ice.
Kori no Joheki.
The nature of that pronunciation means that it sounds like you hid from the microphone as you said it.
Kori no Joheki.
Yes, this is a webtoon turned web manga by Kocha Agasawa. Fox, would you like to explain what Ramparts of Ice is and why I watched it?
Look, I can't speak for you. This is just another high school anime that I had no reason to think anything about until I saw the trailer and I was like, God damn, that's really nicely made. Well, that looks physically beautiful. I guess I will check it out and see if it's one of those insufferably dull teenage romance things or an actual cool one. Turns out there's a reason the visuals are kind of familiar.
Yeah.
Tell us who made it, Talen.
Well, Kocha Agasawa is the artist behind You and I Are Polar Opposites, which, along with Silver Spoon, doesn't show up in this particular slideshow, but we did also watch it this season, waiting for other anime.
Which also looked like it was going to be an insufferably dull teenage romance high school thing, but it turns out it's actually great.
Yeah, You and I Are Polar Opposites is essentially an anthology series that isn't structured like an anthology. It's like 7 different couples, different interactions and relationships to one another. Ramparts of Ice is much more like the focus on one person, but it's essentially a series of how can we make this introverted girl cry in a way that doesn't feel exploitative.
I got nothing so much out of... Sorry, I got nothing out of Polar Opposites so much as that this author really likes writing about teenage anxiety.
Yes.
Like, it is primarily about how everyone is getting in their own fucking way with all of the shit they are dealing with. And there's no one who's really intending to be a bad person as such. They're just all dealing with their own flavor of the same shit. And this is definitely that again. But it's a little more intimate because we're mostly dealing with the 4 characters on this poster. There are some other characters who get introduced, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
Is this also going double core?
No, this is getting a second season in October. So what would be for us the summer season? is going to have that. But that's because next season is the second and final season of You and I Are Polar Opposites. So it's kind of like the year of Agasawa.
Right. So I guess rather than saying second half, I should say towards the end.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's dealing, it's central character and certainly like objectively the main character.
The main character, yeah.
At the beginning, is the tiny girl in front here, who is a very gloomy, introverted personality who has been pretty well traumatized by previous school experiences. Can I remember her name? Nah, you're gonna have to bail me.
It's Koyuki Hikawa.
Thank you, Koyun. That's right. Anyway, so it's very different to Polar Opposites, where we center more than anyone else on the bouncy girl character, who still has some of that good old brainworm shit going on.
Oh yeah.
She just hides it better than everyone. But yeah, so we've got a cold girl who's been traumatized. We've got a compulsive people pleaser who can't handle the idea that someone might not like him immediately. We have just kind of a pleasant, cool, responsible dad figure who turns out to have like huge home issues.
Mm-hmm.
And self-worth problems. And we have Mickey, who's the best, who is the hottest girl in this series and the hottest boy, who is has sort of remodeled herself to be more acceptable, because what she is underneath is a goddamn little goblin who just wants to fight and do sports and do cool things and be the coolest guy in class. And she fucking is.
And eat shredded cheese out of the bag.
You know she would.
Uh-huh. Yeah, look, this series is promising everything it does on this poster. You're not getting any surprises. This is just going to be about teenagers and their relationships to one another and to themselves, and you're going to get a lot of introspective, stopping dead in the middle of a moment to have a lengthy 10 to 15 second internal monologue about a moment that in the real world, no doubt, is less than a breath. But it's really good at that. And spoilers, I guess, for the manga. Having read the manga now since starting it, I think the treatment this series has of Koyun's relationship to her divorced mother is really beautiful.
I can't wait to get into that. You don't see divorced parents nearly often enough.
Yeah. And normally it's treated as like an objective tragedy, or like, oh, well, they got a divorce, something went wrong. In this case, no, it's very heartfelt and very good, and I like the relationship between her and her mum a lot. That's all I got.
Really good shit going on here. I'm excited for the rest of it.
Well, let's not go overboard.
I'm excited for the rest of it. You can feel however you want. I'm not the boss of you. I am the boss of Goblin.
Uh-huh.
And Goblin wants more.
All right. You good?
Yes.
All right. Agents of the Four Seasons, Dance of Spring.
Shinkashuto Daikosha.
That is apparently the title it has in Japanese.
It's definitely got a second bit as well, because it's on the file names, but don't bother me with it right now. I did a fine job of that, and I'm just going to pretend that's all I need to do.
And to be fair, it is... The series is called Agents of the Four Seasons as a set of light novels, and that's what that title is for, which is written by Kana Akatsuki, who you might recognize, well, you absolutely wouldn't, as the author of Violet Evergarden.
Oh.
Do. What's this one about, Fox?
Oh, you want me to do another one? Okay.
Well, do you want me to describe what this anime is about? Because I'm not going to be kind.
I have mixed feelings about this as well. This is a story with a fantasy setting where the Japanese gods of the seasons have picked human avatars.
Modern fantasy.
To act on their... Yeah. There's a guy wearing a fucking tie in the poster. You can work it out. Avatars to act on their behalf who, like, literally have to call in the seasons. Like traditional priestessy kind of stuff. It's very straightforward and resonant. But there's this whole sort of bureaucratic structure built around it, and people who for some reason want to, like, kidnap and or murder them, and it's all become very political, and they have different sort of societies built around each agent, and they do hella eugenics to try and manipulate who winds up getting the powers, and it's all kind of skeevy and nasty. And this story in particular focuses on Hinagiku, who is the agent of Spring, who at the point where the story starts has been kidnapped for some time, multiple years. And utterly traumatized. And her retainer, who's standing behind her in this poster, Sakura, who's a, cool katana girl, who is equally traumatized, but desperately trying to take care of her and let her, come back and take her place as an agent of Spring and bring Spring back to the land, which has been stuck in winter. And all that is kind of interesting. And would be pretty cool to see. That's a fun process. And they straight up have superpowers. Like, she does the least sort of superpowery stuff, but she can, grow trees and... Hinagiku.
Yep.
She's poison ivy shit.
Yeah. I just... making sure you didn't run off with, she does this, there were two she's. You've only described two characters.
And Winter Guy, who's in the back of that poster, gets Iceman powers. And then there's a Summer Girl who gets, animal mind control. And Autumn Girl can just fucking kill people or bring them back to life. The power system is not equal, perhaps.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, and it'd be cool to see them going and having adventures and doing shit and dealing with the paramilitary organizations trying to kill them or do terrorist stuff. But don't worry. That's merely the background element of our show, because what we are mostly going to do is watch the girls be very sad all the fucking time. And despite how intensely gay they are, talk about how very, very, very much they would like to go and see a boy. Or pretend they wouldn't.
What Fox described there is the first episode. I'm not joking.
It's also the whole show.
They do not... The first episode is Hinagaku bringing Spring back in one area. And they make a point of, this is this one area. And then this next episode's ad break mentions that she's now brought Spring to all of Japan.
Not quite, but pretty close. There's one area she still has to go. Goes from, the first place to, 80%. And then we're all right, she's done everything except this. They pitched it's going to be a road trip. And then it's not.
Yeah.
Because that would require a lot of stuff to, proactively happen. And we're mostly interested in just exploring trauma.
This could have been, much like Violet Evergarden, an examination of trauma told through a series of anthologies relating to how humans relate to the seasons and the world around us and these ideas of the turning of time and the marking of these things. And instead what we get is 3 episodes that are just flashbacks to the same thing.
That's not quite accurate, because they're actually flashbacks to 2 different things, because the events repeat, essentially. There's sort of a cycle where a behavior is repeated, but it goes a different way the second time, but you don't know which is which at first.
That's so much more interesting than what I described, and therefore I've no reason to be as annoyed as I am at all the time I wasted on this shit.
Yeah, that definitely makes it better.
Yeah. Look, it could have taken that from Violet Evergarden, but what instead it decided to take from Violet Evergarden is fucked up romantic depictions of age gaps.
Some problematic age gap stuff, yeah.
And I'm saying this as someone who doesn't actually give a shit about problematic age gaps, but it is weird that it keeps bringing it up in this author's work.
It's very frustrating to me exactly how much Hinagiku pushes Sakura towards this problematic age gap idea. Because she's also, Sakura... If you understand...
his name!
I can. If you understand what gay is, Sakura is fucking gay for Hinagiku.
Yeah.
She just is. She is in love with her.
Yeah.
And they're every fucking episode will basically include her going, but don't you like what's-his-face? You're right, I can't remember his name. Ha! I fooled you!
No, you didn't.
I'm sure I could remember it if I tried. The hot one is called Rose. That's the one that Hinagiku's apparently fallen in love with since she was like 8 or whatever, and she knew him for a few months. And the whole story is basically just her going, I wish I could see him again. Can't we go and see him again? And Sakura going, no, those guys fucked us. And her going, but we still love them, don't we? Don't you still love him? Except she does it like stiltingly and whatnot because she has a trauma stutter. So, like, at the risk of being callous, everything she says takes twice as long.
Yes, this is not just because of her stutter, but also because, and this is something that doesn't come across very clearly in the English, Hinagaku talks like a baby. She talks like a very young child.
Yeah. There's a bit of there's a weirdness where the trauma may have caused her to develop a second personality, or maybe there's some supernatural shit going on, or maybe it's like an age regression thing. It's very unclear. She calls herself a different person, but we don't know if that's accurate or not, because she's the one who's been fucked up by this.
I think the simple way to phrase this, and this is one of those things, it's like, oh, this person is in the know, or this person has read some things, this is the story about a little altar apologizing to everyone else for not being the altar that they met first. That's pretty much it. And it is very much the I behave like a child because that's how I cope with the world and that's what I am. And if this series was being made by someone who actually was interested in exploring these kinds of mental states or these experiences, that would be really quite cool. But it's not. It's by someone who seems to really like traumatizing women a lot.
It does not feel like a responsible exploration of those things. So if you were like, it'd be interesting to see that kind of trauma acknowledged and explored in a story, in a sensitive and well-informed way, I don't think this is it.
Yeah.
This, speaking as someone who wrote with a trauma fetish when she was younger, this feels trauma fetishy to me. I can't prove anything, but that's the vibe I get.
I don't think that this is trauma fetishy. I think this is someone who's convinced themselves that if a girl suffering at the end of the movie makes it art, if she suffers all the way, that's more art. And therefore, they will make the most art. Because look at how this thing looks. As an anime, this is a gorgeous production.
Yeah, this is beautifully made, which once again is the way it got me to fall for it.
Yep.
But it wasn't what I hoped it would be.
Mm-hmm. Are we good?
Yeah, let's move on.
Demons of the Shadow Realm.
Yomi no Tsugai.
So remember how I mentioned that Rumiko Takahashi was the person who basically defined what everything else was going to look like? This is by Hiromu Arakawa, who is responsible for, amongst other things, the hit smash anime Silver Spoon, in which a guy considers how hot cows are. Also Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Also the best shonens, yeah. I know you got mixed feelings about them, but it'd be hard to argue that they're not the best at what they are.
Oh, I've gone on the record multiple times at saying that Full Metal Alchemist is probably the best shonen battle anime ever made.
Exactly.
And also Full Metal Alchemist, the other one, is easily in the top 10. This is one of those things that makes me so mad when people come to our booth at conventions, start talking to us about anime, and wind up going, oh, Brotherhood's great. Hate that other one. I'm like, no, you don't. It's also an absolute banger. You utter gibberer. The fact is, you can't get a good Full Metal Alchemist without taking those two halves and smashing them together into something whole.
Oh, here's the one joke.
I didn't say it like a joke. I'm just talking about how it's got to be stuck together.
It can be both.
The point is that Arakawa is, unfortunately, just a all-star goat alert. This anime.
Oh, she still fucking got it.
And yeah, therein we have the problem that she actually is. She deserves it. This isn't like Lazarus, where it was like, oh yeah, man, remember when he did Cowboy Bebop? I will overlook the ways that Lazarus is a bit dumb. Like, nah, So, Demons of the Shadow Realm
Shit's cooking.
starts out as a historical fantasy drama following our main character, Yuru, who has been raised in a village and has a sister who's in a little cage.
He's a cool bow guy.
He's a cool bow hunting guy with a best friend, and they're there and he's been told he's part of a prophecy about the twins of light and dark, and then people with guns and helicopters attack. And what follows is just true Arakawa-style greatness of fusional motifs, because here's the thing about Arakawa. Arakawa is an incredible technical writer. When it comes to the building blocks and just the fundamental structure of how a story works, she's pretty much peerless. It's why you can really, well, in my opinion, it's why I can tell the point where Full Metal Alchemist, the first time, just lost access to the writer who was in charge of these long-term structural components. Like, you have this set of things where you have characters lust and sloth and greed all introduced in the story, and then afterwards you've got to come up with what the other four are, and you have no idea what she meant. The fact that she had the structure in mind and that she knew where it was going meant that when she delivered on her other deadly sins, the ones that the other anime came up with on its own, wildly different and also just incorrect to form a set with the other ones.
Not to push back too hard, but you're talking about lust, gluttony, and envy being the first three.
Yeah, sorry, mixing up envy and...
Sloth is the one where they were like, yeah, this is the Elric brothers' sin.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? That resonates thematically.
Yeah, spoilers for Full Metal Alchemist, the first one, but you should have fucking watched it already.
You also shouldn't watch it all the way through.
You should watch it all the way through because the ending is a full-on hype fight scene, and the fact that the very last minute it botches it, I don't fucking care. Because again, if I didn't like anime that had shitty endings, I would like about 3 anime. Anyway, the point is that Arakawa has this great grasp of technical structures in writing. What is this idea? What follows from that? You can tell when an author is bad at this kind of thing when you see them interact with like a crime organization, and suddenly it's like, this crime organization seems to be 3 guys. We keep on talking to the same 3 guys. Whereas in her case, what you have is this very well structured relationship between multiple organizations and enemy forces that aren't just cooked down to a small group. Even though the hero group that we are interacting with is a small group of people, the fact is you can understandably, oh, they've got other people related to them and around them.
Well, to put it another way, not unlike Kubo Tite, she just makes really fucking sick characters, and if you let her, she'll make like 14 of them in a go.
Well, this isn't even about the characters. That's where I was building up to. Like, structurally speaking, she has a fantastic technical world. The world makes sense, the rules are there, and the rules can be followed, and you can rely on them to work. It's one of the things that makes power systems that she writes so very good. Like in Silver Spoon, where the power system was whether or not you spilt milk. But in Demons of the Shadow Realm, it lets her use the other thing, which is a complete pervert's lust for character design. Because every character design in here fucking rules. The power system that they are interacting with rules. And she gets to draw a jacked himbo in a fundoshi on the reg. So of course she's going to have a grand old time. The story winds up being an urban fantasy thing where you have these characters who have access to a pair of supernatural entities called Daemons, which are linked in some way and give them special powers. But it's not just a matter of like point and click, unless you're Gabby, because she's the best. But the powers have to be negotiated with the demons. The demons have a contract, there are rules, and they have their own personalities, which is why, for example, we find a character whose demons have gotten out of control and are running around eating children. They're not harming the character in question, but the character can't really impose on them in any way.
They're also mostly based on yokai shit, so once again, we're getting sick yokai stuff.
Yeah, and they all come in pairs, which I just love that idea.
Which I think hasn't been laid down as a tenet anywhere. It's just something you noticed almost immediately, and I don't think anyone's actually acknowledged it in the show yet. But it's totally true at this point.
Did I come up? I can't have made this up. I have to have read this somewhere. There's no way this is all on me. But yeah, Arakawa writes this stuff. This is exactly the stuff that Arakawa is amazing at. Her sense of spectacle is amazing at it, and the fact that it's got the most generic dog shit name in the world completely baffles me.
Really unfortunate. It's not a catchy name. That could be better. That's why I like calling it by its Japanese name.
Yeah.
Because that at least is kind of succinct and cool sounding. Demons of the Shadow Realm is also unwieldy.
Oh,
Not just generic as fuck.
apparently its name literally translates to pears from the underworld. So I don't know.
So it was in the title the first time.
No, fantastic urban fantasy story, but this is going to be a long hauler. There's no way they wrap this up in 2 cores.
Good.
This is going, like, everyone, you're all too young to be here for this stuff. You weren't there when Naruto was new. You weren't there when Bleach was new. I was there when Bleach first season ended with, and now Rukia is going to another world and we're going to have to go find out about that, and didn't see the vastness spreading out in front of you. For this thing, that is that. Get in now. Watch this season now. It is going to be enjoyable. It will almost certainly be good all the way through because Arakawa is not going to have her work palmed off to a secondary studio.
And I trust her to tell a more intentional story. Like, Bleach was obviously... Bleach had really strong ideas. I don't know if Kubajide intended directions when he went in, but even if he did, I'm pretty sure that Jump just messed the shit all out of that. Like, we know there was a lot of editorial pressure to, no, do more about this guy, he's really popular, and that kind of shit. Whereas I do not feel that kind of pressure is present in Arakawa's work. Her pacing, like, FMA, the pacing isn't perfect. The ending gets drawn out a lot. Like, in the end, Lust is missing for so much of the series, and you're just like, she did feel like a main character at first. It didn't seem like she should have gone out that early. But it's still an intentional story that has very intentional themes leading to a conclusion that makes sense based on those themes. So I trust her to do that again. And I'm really excited because we haven't seen her do, like, another one of her own fantasy things. Mm-hmm. Like, we got Silver Spoon, and I think they made,
Samara's Land.
Well, I was going to mention that last, but there was also they made a series, I don't know if it's shorts or not, out of her Forcoma stuff that informed Silver Spoon. I can't remember what it's called. It's a thing. I believe it's actually got her avatar.
Red 18, Hero Tales.
Not ringing any bells.
The Noble Farmer.
That might be it.
Moonrise.
That's a lot of stuff of hers that passed me by.
Here's the thing.
Check out some shit. Anyway, and then there was Arslan, which is very good at being Arslan, but it's very clearly not her story.
Yeah, look, Arakawa is not in the Jump ecosystem. No. She is in the monthly.
Yeah.
She's at the point where, and by the way, this is because Arakawa is also a maniac. But she's at the point where she was able to say, I'm taking 3 months off to have my child, and her editors apologized to her. So, yeah, this is a rare thing that we get to enjoy, which is a situation where the author has enough swag to throw themselves around and wants to do a really good job. Again, this is the thing with Mal. It's Takahashi, who wants to go to the only billionaire from making manga and say, hey, just so you know,
this one's mid.
Yeah, this is a bit mid. No one wants to say, like, hey, can we cut corners on the production of this one? You don't care that much about this anime, do you? Yeah, it's a...
Well, she's no stranger to having her stuff adapted cheaply.
Yeah.
For better and
But
worse.
not anymore.
You probably don't do that now.
Yeah, pretty much not since 2007. The fact that Rinne got all of its manga adapted, like there are 70 episodes of Rinne,
and there's still no definitive Rama.
Well, they're working on it, and that might be why it's happening.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, this also entertained me tremendously because all through the first episode, I was looking at that one character, Tadera, who he's wearing like a bandana, and he just kind of looks like Solid Snake. So the whole time I was making jokes about him being Solid Snake.
And then he pulls a gun.
Then he pulls a fucking gun and stealth kills a guy. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. That was such a good twist.
We went into this totally blind too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in the same vein as like I've been talking about long haulers. Like one of the reasons I like seasonal anime so much is like, yeah, here's 12 episodes. You get a complete story. It's more than a movie. It's less than a lifestyle. it's good and it's enjoyable, and and you'll get something out of it, but you won't be locked into something, and it won't be able to it won't live long enough to disappoint you. Whereas this one, I think, is so many series have disappointed me, Fox. I watched so much Bleach.
And this could definitely be a heartbreaker.
I watched the Bount arc. All of the Bount arc. I watched one of the movies. You were there.
I didn't think you had watched any of them.
Oh no, I'm turning to butterflies at the end. This is retconning the whole movie.
3 of them.
Yeah. Why?
They're all worse.
They're all worse. Anyway, point is, this is a recommendation of a rare type where I can say, this is almost certainly going to be all good all the way through. If you give it a sample, if you like what it's offering, it's almost certainly going to keep offering it, and it will be probably finished and high quality all the way through.
Also, Left is here.
Correct.
Fellow
scientists. If this was an actual edited video and not essentially a live stream, I would be pulling up the Wooly video and putting it up there. Go, gentlemen, I see you've got the correct result there.
Links in the descriptions, chat.
Let's see if I remember to do that. All right, we good?
Yep.
All right. Witch Hat Atelier.
Tongari Bushi no Atore.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Witch Hat
Atelier. Yeah, that makes sense.
Witch Hat Atelier is written and illustrated by Kamome Shirahama and is serialized in Kodansha Seinen magazine Morning 2 since 2016. So remember what I said about long haulers?
Ooh. Yeah, now this one we couldn't go into blind.
No, well, I couldn't. I'd already been reading it.
So why don't you tell us what it's about?
Witch Hat Atelier is the story of Coco, a young girl who wants to become a witch. And then one day, her dream comes true in the worst possible way, as she is at ground zero of Magic Chernobyl, which she got there by being too autistic to die. Fundamentally, this is a tiny pinhole window series. Like, it wants to go, like, we're starting with a child. We're starting with a child in a rural location. We're starting with a child in a rural location and not a lot of education. So the whole point of this story is every step of the way we are showing more of the world, opening it up, and showing a bigger, grander landscape as we teach you about the world and the magic and the way that we handle, like, the philosophy of this story through telling Coco things. What that looks like in the end is the adventures of Kifri, his husband, and his 3 adopted daughters, and their pet rat.
Oh, they are super married.
The story is set in a world where magic kind of did what magic should do in most world building, which is fuck everything up.
Just horribly deform the world.
There was a period in history where magic WMDs were flying left, right, and center, and after that, or after never mind all that, a conspiracy of magic was put in place to limit access to magical information, and in the process ban certain types of magic, particularly the big X no-nos that everyone would actually want are personal alteration magic and healing magic, because that's also the same place you get things like turning people into bombs.
And, like, you know, direct damage, basically. You don't get fireballs in this world.
Yes.
Or rather, you can, but you don't get to do them.
Yeah. So the story is about a world of magic where the magic is both deliberately very secretive for a good reason. There is a lot of interesting constraints on it because you have to draw runes to do it. There's no magic words. It's physical gestures hidden under cloaks because you're drawing on a piece of paper. And the magic in question has to pretty much live in the space of what any D&D sourcebook would call miscellaneous.
It's all ritual casting.
It's all ritual casting. It's all miscellaneous bullshit. It's all the dreadful knights who protect magic fly. Sure, flying is not that big a deal. That's like the one really cool thing all mages can do.
But can you cast a flight spell on yourself?
Absolutely the fuck not. You have to draw the rune on your shoes. And look, Witch Hat Atelier was getting attention before this series was even announced because
long before this series.
Shirahama is a maniac. Just the visuals of this manga are breathtaking.
I remember you calling it unadaptable.
Yes.
Because the art style was too elaborate.
I thought, and I know I've said that about One Dance as well, and I do think that, like, in One Dance's case, it's just a matter of unadaptable budgets an anime would
Yeah,
get.
based on the evidence of One Dance, you might be right.
But in the case of Hat Atelier, it's so sumptuously and indulgently gorgeous looking, and then it's like, I don't think this is a monthly series. I think this is a weekly.
Good God.
I think.
Do you just have like 12 assistants? What?
And it's got a spin-off, Fox.
Fuck me dead.
It's got a lighthearted spin-off about making recipes, if I remember correctly.
You could have a lot of cozy, lighthearted fun in this world. Which, you know, is obviously the world that Coco wants.
Yeah.
But it's not what she's gonna get, because she's getting stalked by, like, rebel wizards who think all the restrictions are bullshit and have preserved knowledge of the secret, horrible ways.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's probably a monthly, he says, checking the Wikipedia page, because there's only 94 chapters and it's been around for 10 years. So,
That can't be a weekly.
That can't be a weekly. You know, Ranma weekly was 38 volumes. So, yeah. No, but like, it's still the work of an absolute monster. Like, this is an art beast. I have to assume that Shirahama has a gang of assistants, and they are all top tier, high quality people as well.
And yeah, so, like, going into making this, they knew that they could not take it lightly. This is not something you could do a cheap adaptation of. Yeah. So they didn't. They did an exquisite adaptation of it. It's fucking gorgeous.
Uh-huh.
It's beautifully made. There are so many frames in places that a lesser show wouldn't dream of putting them.
And now here's the part where I get to fuck with you, because it's by Bug Studios. Have you heard of Bug Studios?
I mean, probably, but you're gonna surprise me by going, they've worked on Thing that you thought was trash.
They've worked on 2 series, Fox.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. This
And?
Zom 100.
Hey!
That's it, though. Like, this is a company that has made 2 anime series in 3 years.
Well, that's probably good, because it means they spent a good fucking long time on this. And rightly so. I mean, if your portfolio is 2 things, you better make sure they're both fucking bangers. And they are.
Does the name OLM Digital mean anything to you?
I feel like that's on every fucking...
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a very generic name.
Yeah, so OLM are originally Oriental Light and Magic.
Ooh, that's so smug. I like it.
OLM produced the original Pokemon anime,
Really?
Yokai
Wow.
Watch, and Beyblade Burst.
Oh, so they made a fuckload of money off of those.
And then OLM, once they have the Moneymaker series on lock, they decided to fuck around and make Odd Taxi and the Apothecary Diaries.
Nice.
Studio Bug.
Actually, yeah, Apothecary Diaries is one of the few things I would think of as reminding me of this.
Studio Bug is what happens when a bunch of OLM people during the pandemic take a furlough and go, I don't want to retire yet. Let's make another studio.
Fuck yes. Yeah, alright. Keep it up.
They also contributed, as their first major money-making thing in Foundation period, to a series called Summertime Rendering.
Oh, dang.
Which, Summertime Rendering, I love deeply. It's not the visual spectacle that I would have...
It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
It's got some lovely production values as
But
well.
it does not compare to Witch Hat Atelier.
I mean...
I would be showing...
The only thing I can bring to mind that I think is more beautiful on its own, just visual merit, than this, is Shoshimin.
Yes. I agree. Correct. So, correct, fellow scientists.
This is number 2.
I am deeply annoyed that this whole chat thing we do has to go the way it does, because otherwise I would just be putting up footage from Witch Hat Atelier and just showing people. Like, there is no way I can overstate how good looking this anime is.
Maybe you should talk about it in depth later in a separate video.
Yeah, but for now, it is a long haul. Like, if you watch this season and you wind up with a feeling of, but what happens next? And trust me, I know what happens next.
Yeah.
And I'm the season ends on a downer, and I'm sitting here going, ooh, I know how this gets better. And, like, Fox doesn't.
I don't, but I have ideas.
You have so many ideas.
Also, holy shit, rough for a season, the current season of Bookworm.
I know!
To be on at the same time as this. Like, I was just thinking about when you were talking about how the magic system works and the drawing the glyphs and everything, and then they have the idea of, like, you can pre-prepare most of it and just finish, like, the last stroke. Because as soon as you finish it, it fucking goes off. I'm like, oh, that's so cool and interesting. And then I'm thinking of the Bookworm scene where all the nobles just pull out their wands to make a generic magic bubble that goes over to your generic magic bubble and does, I don't fucking know, some shit, I guess. Everyone's identical wand that's just a stick of fucking wood. Wands are the most boring implement. I hate them. Anyway, the magic in this is cool as shit, and I would also fall in love with it if I were Coco. Yeah. Good on her.
Though, we're both artists. Different kinds of artists, but we both draw.
Oh yeah, I can't draw a circle like that.
And the fact that this the whole magic system is based on your ability to draw a perfectly straight line and a perfect circle. Like, fuck off. There are no witches. There are none. No one can do it.
I'm a trash wizard. It's also nice to see witch being used unambiguously as a cross-gender term rather than wizard.
Yeah.
Because you only ever see wizard is everyone or wizard is boy, witch is girl. Witch is everyone is so much cooler. Has to look dumb though. Moving on.
Fox doesn't like pointy hats at the best of times. MARRIAGETOXIN.
Oh, holy shit! Somehow I forgot this was the next logical thing on the list. All right. This is a show about an assassin, a poison assassin, the heir to a dynasty of poison assassins, who, in order to save his awesome lesbian sister from being horribly bearded, has to find a girl to shack up with and continue his dynasty with. How's he gonna do it? Well, he's gonna do it with the help of Kinosaki, the best girl in this and possibly any season of anime, who is not a girl. But don't let that get in the way.
Listen, it takes a real man to be best girl.
He is a fucking anime femboy on the tier of I would make him.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And if you're hearing that pitch, much like me, and thinking, okay, that's kind of cool, and I sure do like a femboy, but that assassin, dynasty, eugenics, edgelord shit, I don't know if this is going to be for me. And then you might watch the first episode and turn to Talen and say, you didn't tell me they were fucking idiots. They spy family'd me all over again. I thought you were telling me about, like, a crime wizard show where the crime is, grounded and, like, maybe a little bit movie-fied. So, you could do, you can roll through the plate glass window or you can do action movie shit. But I didn't realize you were telling me about a crime wizard show where you can talk to animals or fucking run on sound waves or ride bugs like a skateboard or be a literal witch, probably, maybe. I don't know. It's very hard for me to keep track of what's real and what's... It's X-Men. It's Crime Dynasty X-Men.
Don't be silly. She's not a real witch. Witches aren't real.
Witches aren't real.
Magic is fake, Fox.
But injecting yourself with magic potions called poisons, that's real.
So, MARRIAGETOXIN is written by Joe Myaku and illustrated by Mitsuki Yoda. It is a action comedy show. I'm afraid to say this is also a long hauler, and this is the real horror show here, that this might be better than Demons of the Shadow Realm in terms of bang for your buck. Like...
Depends what you're here for.
Yeah.
Like, it depends what you're here for. Because Demons of the Shadow Realm is doing some, like, absolutely wild supernatural combat.
Yep.
But it never goes into the realm of goofy.
No.
Whereas this is goofy as shit, and it's having a magnificent time doing it.
Yes! Everyone is stupid.
It's so stupid.
And again, to be that insufferable manga reader, I'm so far ahead of the manga. Like, I can't begin to tell you how far ahead and how much sillier some of the things come up are.
Oh no! He's just looking me in the face going, it's gonna get worse!
But okay.
It's gonna get dumber.
So real quick though. All right. Marriage Toxin is urban crime fantasy, high impact action narrative about a specialized conspiracy of super criminals who do super crimes for extremely rich people. And Hikaru Gero, the main character.
Where's his first name?
Yeah, but I pronounced Geru wrong.
Sorry.
I reran the whole word because apparently I just tripped up.
Yeah, he'll get a redo, but Hinagiku, fuck her.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm definitely smoothly transitioning to the rest of whatever my sentence was.
Yeah, no one noticed.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher. But the point I'm trying to get to, she's doing the face, is that this world is one in which a lot of my common hatreds for this genre would show up. He is a member of the Poison family. There is a Poison dynasty. There's
a lot of eugenics.
Yeah, there's a lot of the talk of eugenics. And then in Marriage Toxin, they just drop in like a burning hot coal, Pitchy.
Oh, yeah.
Pitchy's just some fucking guy.
Turns out all your eugenics might be full of shit.
Yeah. Turns out that if there's one guy driven enough by loving a girl enough, he will fucking cut buildings apart with a hand knife.
Such wife guys as will blot out the sun.
And Peachy's whole point in this series to me is to just go, yeah, they're wrong. Like, all the eugenic stuff, they're just wrong. Yes, if you're trained to do these things from the age of 7, you'll be really good at them when you're an adult. But that doesn't mean you have exclusive access to the things that make people powerful, because Peachy can just fuck up all your shit.
Yeah.
And I love the character. I love this series. I love the characters. I'm delighted by how good looking it is. The opening and ending are both absolute bangers. It does that thing in the ending I love of showing animation cells. Like when Witch Watch shows some of the animation cells. Just, I'm a
like
sucker
the pencils.
For that. Yeah, the pencils for that.
I mean, they're showing you animation cells the whole show.
Yeah, they are. Or are they not cells because they're technically frames?
Yeah, they're cells.
They're cells, whatever. Okay. Marriage Toxin is a series that had, like, Fox has watched all 13 episodes of Marriage Toxin that are available right now, and I think she's into the second volume of the manga, and I think there's 12 at this point. This one has, unfortunately, again, the possibility of being a real long hauler. But also, there's no part of it where I can think, oh, that's bad. The worst thing about it is that there are 3 different characters who I want to talk to Fox about, who she now has enough context of, because she knows the characters around them, but she doesn't know that.
Ellie, come on now. Go to bed.
Tut, Ellie, you're interrupting with my enthusiasm for Marriage Toxin! And it is a pure and total love of Marriage Toxin.
Yeah, Kinosaki's obviously best girl, but all the girls are great.
Yeah.
It is a competition. He's just winning.
Yeah. And like, no, I said I was spoiler warning for the anime, not spoiler warning for the manga.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. It's a really fun one. And again, this is part of the problem this season, in that there's some real good long haulers, and there's not a lot of stuff where I can say, get your 13 episodes in. Unfortunately, this one might also go to like 70 episodes, and they'll all be good.
Yeah, I feel like they intend to go for the long haul, because they have come out of the gates fucking swinging. This is also beautifully made.
Next up is Akane-Banashi.
Oh, fuck me.
Sorry.
How had I already forgotten how much of a banger this season is?
Written by Yuki Suenaga and illustrated by Takamusa Moi.
Hey, Talen, did you know that special interest performance shows are just sports anime in disguise? Well, Shonen Jump does.
Listen, if you die in Rakugo, you die in real life.
Well, that's how that one guy killed her dad in Rakugo.
Yes, this is the story of Akane Osaki, who 10 years ago, her father was Rakugo murdered in his Rakugo tests, and now she's back for Rakugo revenge.
Accurate.
Hey Fox, what's Rakugo?
It's a traditional form of Japanese theater, where there's a whole bunch of specific rules about like the expected behavior. Like it's a very strict, you might say, art form. And it's just a single storyteller performing every character and the narrator doing everything they need to do. And for props, you get a fan. And what's the other thing? A cup?
It's a fabric.
Oh, the cushion?
No,
That's not
no,
really
it's a
a
piece of
prop.
fabric.
It's a piece of fabric?
Yeah, it's a little piece of cloth that you could fold as a square. You can mop your forehead with it. You can turn it into a bib. It is a
I
piece of...
don't remember the piece of cloth.
Yeah, that's because Akane very rarely uses hers. She prefers her fan.
It's not good and noisy like the fan is.
Yeah.
Fan's clearly the star of the show. Anyway, traditional art form, still taught in the same, like, master and apprentices structure from a bajillion forevers ago. If your master decides that you suck and tells you to get the fuck out of his school. God, this is so formalized that you literally get a new name from your father.
Yeah.
From your master to represent that he is now your Rakugo dad.
The Rakugo as an art form dates back to at least the 1700s. And the name Rakugo specifically is somewhere in the 1880s. And in that time in the real world, we've had something like, I think, 3 female Rakugoka.
Yes, choosing to tell this story about a female protagonist is particularly interesting as well.
Uh-huh. What's especially fun is the series is not interested in that at all. It's just like, yep, and here are some female Rakugo who have been around for ages. Shut up, we're not talking about it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm a sucker for Rakugo, it seems. Like, there are 3 big anime about Rakugo. And, like, the one that least captivated me was Showa Rakugo, which, you know...
I was going to ask what the third one was, because I definitely know My Master Has No Tail.
Yeah, My Master Has No Tail is a delight. I wrote an article about how much I loved the series, the manga, recently. It is peerless, energetic, lovely. It does a lot for the expression of what it's like to love theatre. Akane-Banashi is just as in love with the theatre and the things it seems to be presenting, and it's an anthology series. It's available for free, like, not just the way I mean free, but you could just go to Shonen Jump's webpage and read Akane-Banashi for free.
Oh, the manga,
because it's just there as the first one's free.
They're
kid.
catfishing you in.
Yeah. But I've been reading Akane-Banashi weekly now for a year and a half. And that's after one day in 2024, I just, like, what's the big deal with this series people are talking about? And, oh no, there's the weekend gone and I've read nothing but manga.
Yeah, it's got to be good for you to keep up with it weekly. That's not something you normally tolerate.
Yeah. No, music's great. Absolutely killer character voices.
I love the music.
You might recognize the voice in like a little cameo in the first season of Gendo Akari. I'm blanking on the actor's name.
Yeah, you sure are.
Frantic Wikipedia sounds.
It's probably a Ken.
That's rude. He was voiced by Fumihiko Takichi.
Takeichi?
No, Tachiki. My bad.
Tachiki.
Fumihiko Tachiki. And he's, amongst other things, he's the voice of the interface in Kamen Rider Double. He's the voice of Gendo Akari. He's the voice of Kenpachi from Bleach. He's like an all-purpose, evil, masculine voice. He's also a jazz singer. And he's a cameo in Akane-Banashi because he's going to play a character who's really significant later on.
Oh, he's not the voice of the old master.
No, he's not Isha. No.
I see.
You can really tell, by the way, how much I'm into this series and that I remember all the characters' names.
Yeah, I feel bad about having names slip away from me so often when we're talking about these reviews, but it really just is a case of, we're watching 12 shows at once where most of the characters have just everyday Japanese person names.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm not used to hearing them, they do jumble together a bit in my brain.
Yeah, to no great surprise, the stuff where I've been reading the manga, I know the names better.
I can remember Akane's name.
Uh-huh.
It's in the title.
Yeah.
Thanks, show. That was a solid.
Incidentally, the voice of Isho is a guy called Akio Okutsa, and he is, amongst other things, the voice of Solid Snake and Xenohort.
Xenohort.
From Kingdom Hearts.
Oh!
Xehanort, my bad.
Yeah, you got a knot. You didn't knot a boy.
You gotta hort them.
You can't hort a boy.
Yeah, that's just terrible. The Hoarder Boy is an Adam Sandler movie.
I think hoarding is what you do to a goblin who's very sad about it afterwards. Like, why you hoard me?
Tummy hort.
My tummy hort.
Yeah. No, look, Akane-Banashi is probably...
Fucking banger show.
Yeah, this is going to be the next... It's going to be the next Haikyuu. It's going to be... here is a high-profile kids club thing that will probably continue to do well, likely drive interest in the art form it's about in Japan, and as a direct result, we're almost certainly going to see a lot of it. It's just an incredible series.
And come to think of it, just like a really cool, approachable, not doing the anime bullshit kind of show, too. Like, this is... I didn't really notice while we were watching it, but there's no... Like, there's none of the things that would make me go, well, this is not something I would want to show to, my sister, for example.
Okay, so it's very low on your anime bullshit, as in you're going to have to explain various things that look like sex crimes. But
that was what I was thinking of, yes.
But it is intensely Japanese. And there's a lot of jokes that you're going to have to sit back as an Australian and go like, all right, well, here's the chart of how that makes sense.
I'm talking about, like, okay, my mom is like a full-on... green. She's a hippie artist. She would love Mononoke Hime. Except a lot of guys' heads explode in Mononoke Hime, right? So, like, even when I'm trying to think about stuff that's like, no, I think this is really good. I don't think this is, like, inappropriate, and no one should be sus of me for liking it. Like Yomi no Tsugai, for example. But... a lot of people just don't want to see a guy's head explode. This is truly accessible in that way, even as it is inaccessible in the way that it's incredibly Japanese and incredibly about Rakugo.
And there's so many jokes...
Which are not flaws, to be clear.
Yeah. There are also so many jokes in Akane-Banashi that just don't make any sense without meta information.
Yeah, you gotta work at it.
Like, you remember the Rakugoka... One of the Rakugoka is a seiyuu, yeah? She's a voice actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actress's first role was as the lead character in an anime called Seiyu's Life. She's also the voice of Ai Hishino from Oshinoko.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
Like, I
don't think that qualifies as a joke, though.
Yeah.
That's more like a bonus for people who are in the know.
But they got a character actor who is, like, you have played Seiyu and stars.
I thought you wanted to talk about the jokes in the Rakugo, because...
Also!
There's, like, an intense amount of wordplay in a lot of these
So
stories.
many puns.
And in particular, there's one character in this who does, like, modern remixes of them.
Yep.
Because they're all super traditional stories, right? And he's like, well, what if I set this in, like, a university? What if it's modern what if these people know what a fucking smartphone is? And so there's multiple layers of this where you have to understand what the original joke was and why it worked, and then why this modernization of it works based on the pun. And, like, it's a reach. The translators have done some fucking work.
Real heroic work there. Especially, like, because, again, I've read the manga, and sometimes you'll have the same line in the manga and in the anime, and because of the way it's delivered, it's very different. Which means I've heard the Japanese, and I've seen two different people translating it, and in both cases, they made a different joke. But they made a joke that worked.
Yeah, you kind of gotta.
Not for nothing, pretty impressive. I like Akane-Banashi a lot. I love a lot of the characters. This series has yet to disappoint me, and almost every single Rakugoka you meet follows the rule set in My Master Has No Tail, which is no one in their right mind goes into theater, and I love it for it.
Fantastic. No notes.
Moving on.
What could come after Akane? We've been ramping up. What could possibly... Oh, yeah, of course.
So about that whole thing about long runners, and this is, again, a bit of a problem here.
The show that Talen never expected to see get an anime. At least not in this. The year of our... I'm gonna say Miyazaki 2026.
This year is... This season is an absolute stunner. There's a reason we dropped 7 series.
You ever feel like the industry is just looking you directly in the eye and going, here, 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 without breaking eye contact?
I feel like they're looking at a Japanese man version of me and saying, hey, millennial who didn't have kids, can I have your disposable income
Give me
instead?
some more of that dual income.
Yeah, do you want some... Do you want me to make a merchandisable re-release of Liar Game?
There you go.
So, Liar Game...
I don't know about merchandisable.
...is a 2005 manga.
It's been more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
It ran until January 2015. It got a live-action TV series and some live-action movies. And
hey, were they any good?
No. And it got a spin-off manga as well. Like, this series was done. This series was absolutely finished. Getting an anime adaptation of it now baffles and delights me. I'm so happy.
Do you want to tell us about it? I feel like I can, but I feel like you should.
Liar Game is about the liar game. A game in which you lie. Liar Game is a death game anime. You know, we're all stuck in a room and here are some arbitrary rules we have to come through and everyone who doesn't follow the rules winds up fucked somehow. Except instead of using contrivances of magical murder devices or teleporting courtrooms or anything like that, it instead just operates with the rules of money. So everyone here is behaving as if money is what's happening, and therefore going into debt is what is the thing that will get you in the end, not being killed. So the reactions to things are still very bad. Everyone is distraught and upset, but they're still operating within the framework of, well, why don't I just kill everyone in the room and run? Kind of thing. Like a lot of death games have to get very supernatural to avoid the consequence of, oh, the correct course of action is overwhelming violence.
And they're all sort of inherently edgelord bullshit because of that.
The story focuses on Naokinzaki. Can I do that off the top of my head? Naokinzaki.
Kanzaki.
A terrible fake fan. And Akiyama.
That's why you've been fucking up Kinasaki's name every time you go to say it. Now's getting in the way.
Now you're always a problem, especially when a swindler is involved. Yeah, Fox didn't mention that Kinasaki is a married swindler.
I didn't, did I? And that's why he's going to help Gero find a wife, because he knows how to please girls.
Yep. But Now is the most honest girl in the world, and possibly the most naive, who gets recruited into the Liar Game, a game in which you lie. Which is a game where someone has dropped a black card into her mailbox and said, congratulations, you've been recruited. Here is, I think it's $500,000 of cash. No, it's like $100,000 of cash. Someone else has the other $100,000. You get to keep everything of theirs you get, and you have this much time to do it in. And the game is very open-ended at that point. He proceeds to completely botch her side of things, and the nature of what Liar Game is that it is a series of game studies and confidence tricks all bundled together. So, even though I put out a spoiler warning, I'm not going to describe exactly how anything gets solved.
No need to, anyway.
There's no need to. The series is more fun for watching how people put things together. Because, I mean,
that has to be what you're here for. Mm-hmm. Because there's not a lot else going on. It is about the game.
And the characters. Specifically, now realizing
the characters are inseparable from the game.
Now realizing she's screwed, winds up recruiting a famous MLM destroying ex-con by the name of Shinichi Akiyama. And Akiyama is he's a game wizard. He is very, very good at working out how games work, what strategies work, and how to fuck with people. And he hates MLMs and he hates all exploitative industries. So, after some cajoling and some obligatory, will he hang out? Will he help her? He winds up helping now. And what follows from there is the most honest and naive girl in the world and evil plan Jesus working their way through a series of increasingly escalatingly difficult games around huge sums of money and how to solve games as puzzles versus how to solve games through strategy. And I love it. I love it dearly. The manga has 6 major points where I kind of pop off as a reader, and 3 of them are in this season. That I didn't know if you... One of my shames is that I have a TV Tropes account that I can't touch because it's attached to an email address I don't have access to anymore. And TV Tropes' policy is like, we don't delete that stuff. We can't give you access to that stuff. It's just there.
Naturally.
Which means that I can't really go on TV Tropes unless I want to try and find a way to, like, you know, redirect all of my, you know...
Or just make a new account.
Well, I've got to make a new account and then say, yeah, all that other stuff is also me, but I haven't touched it since I was 29 and I'm quite ashamed of some of the ways I phrase things. But the point is that one of the earliest things I use the arslur.
It's a wiki. You can just change your own stuff.
No, you can't. Not on TV Tropes. You can't change your own stuff.
What?
Yeah. Point is that one of the earliest things you'll find by me written on the internet is an article on TV Tropes about Liar Game, in which I described it as like Death Note, but good. And that's not a great piece of analysis, and I did get into a fight with someone who wanted to try and argue that actually it's like Death Note, but different. Like, fuck off. It's not rhetorically interesting. Go away. But Liar Game has been one of my favorite series for a long time, and it's genuinely stunning. Not only are we getting a season of Liar Game, we're getting 2 cores. I don't know how far they're going to go, because, like, I don't think they can do all of Liar Game in 2 cores.
I wouldn't think so.
But they might be able to get far enough to get a second season. Like, I would like for more people to check this series out, and hopefully they will enjoy it, because I think this series is really good, and I really like the characters in it. Especially because Now goes through character development. And Fox has been watching this series so far, and I know that there's a part of her going, really? That would be nice.
No, there absolutely isn't. You'll remember the main thing I commented on the last time we watched an episode was, it's nice to see Now getting actual character development.
That's a good point.
That is, in fact, the opposite of what you have accused me of, sir. Sir, I shall not stand for this slander.
I misremembered. Nonetheless, the other thing in all this...
Akiyama doesn't need any character development, because he's complete, basically.
He's close to perfect.
Yeah.
The one thing that will come up is the area he has a blind spot, which is fun.
Ooh. He's so normal brain.
Yeah, he's deeply autistic. But with Liar Game, watch if you know the books, if you know the franchise, watch it with someone who doesn't. Because I've been watching it with Fox, and there have been some she didn't work it out ahead of time, and she had this deeply annoyed of like, oh, of course.
Well, that's bullshit.
And then there was one in the most recent rounds where she said, is it this? And I said, what kind of reaction do you want out of me? What should I do here? And she said, nothing.
Obviously don't say anything. I'm not asking because I want you to give it away.
Yeah, and then a few minutes later, it was revealed, and Fox sat back on the couch with her arms wide going, I am the smartest man alive!
Well, it's true.
It's true indeed. And this season got to include the moment of Akiyama explaining skeptical love to Now.
Oh, yes, that was cool.
Which is one of those
very
things
good.
it's one of those things that's endured in my brain and I think made me a better person.
You may as well spoil that one. We've given spoiler warning.
Yeah. If you want to understand someone, doubt them. It's not a show of distrust. It's not a show of distaste. It's a willingness to get to know them better and better and better. It's all and there's a phrase I've heard used, and I think it comes from Murder 6 Billion Demons, but it's along the lines of, please destroy in your mind the inferior image you have of me each day. Which is, I want you to get to know me better every day. I want to be looked at closely. I want to be understood closely. And that means that there will be times where I doubt you, and vice versa. And I think Liar Game does such a great job with this whole theme.
I enjoyed specifically the explanation to her that not bothering to doubt someone isn't the same as trusting. It's the same as not caring.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah. Akiyama is one of a very small number of anime boys which I looked at and went, I should probably start dressing better, because like he's not even dressing much better than me, and yet he looks a lot better. So
listen, anime characters have tailored clothing.
Yeah. And also, this anime doesn't look very good.
No, that's what I was gonna say. This, I suspect it might get to do the whole series because whoever's doing this is doing it on a budget. Which is fine. Like, there's not a bunch of stuff going on that is expensive inherently.
Yeah.
Like, it's mostly talking. It's
Lots of diagrams, lots of Ruri Rock style PowerPoint presentations. Fucking love that shit.
You shouldn't bring up your Ruri Rocks in comparison. We're talking about it being cheap.
But yes, Ruri Rock's also good to draw things that looked better, whereas this is drawing the manga of Liar Game, where there is one good-looking character.
It's true. The source art style is a bit rough. But also the production is super cheap. And, most of it is talking. Most of it is game analysis. Most of it is internal reflections. If there's anything I really dislike about it, it's just the amount of time that stuff has to be sort of iterated over to make sure we're not missing it. For those of us who aren't the smartest man alive.
So here's the thing.
And now it's very dramatic.
I know that it's made by Madhouse, by the way. Right?
Is it?
But that's the thing. An anime studio of the size of Madhouse is capable of maintaining multiple different projects at multiple different budgets.
Absolutely.
And they're all aerosolized out. At the start of the season, we have this much money for this series, and that's what it's going to get. And it doesn't matter how good or bad anything else is. We're not sloshing any money around. Nothing is cannibalizing anything else. When I think it was Kodansha did that, it was considered a fucking scandal.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure that whoever paid for this got what they paid for.
Yeah, so they also made One Dance and Freerun and scenes from Awajima.
Oh shit, that's what hasn't been on this list yet. Yes. Anyway, that's Liar Game. It's pretty good, especially if you want the same sort of appeal that you get out of a Death Game thing without it being fucking stupid the whole time.
It is stupid.
It's not stupid like a Death Game is stupid.
Yes.
It's stupid in the way that people do stupid things under pressure. Not, your cell phone can murder you from space.
Yeah.
And that's the fucking contrivance we're gonna come up with for you to kill all your classmates. It's so much less stupid.
And notably, Liar Game is logistically feasible. And this is one of those things, again, there are 6 things in this show in this story that make me pop off. And one of them is at the very end. The conclusion of this is absolutely fucking worth it. And I love it to pieces.
Oh, nice.
But we'll have to wait to see when we get there.
Yep.
Okay. I did all that without ever mentioning how hot Fukunaga is.
Oh, we haven't talked about this either.
Go for it, Nakamura!
Gambare, Nakamura-Kun!
Is a manga series written and illustrated by Sunday, and the anime production is by Drive.
Hey, what if there was another high school romance thing that was a fluffy nothing of a series, but was unreasonably fucking gorgeous? It's Nakamura-Kun! That, and gay this time! But, boy gay this time.
These people went from making To Your Eternity to making Nakamura-Kun. Look, there's not a lot to explain in Nakamura-Kun.
Yes, this is the protagonist boy. He is in love with the deuteragonist boy. They go to school.
Yeah.
He's very anxious.
That's
the other one's nice.
That's pretty much it. This is a series about having a crush on someone else and just the odd interactions that can come when that is a queer attraction, because you aren't necessarily even in the running for this kind of thing, and disclosing it can destroy the relationship that you already had. Go For It, Nakamura is a really reasonable nothing of a series.
I will just point out, even in the English title, they call him Nakamura-Kun. It's right there.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and it's called Go For It, Nakamura. But that's
it's on the poster.
But that's why I made the mistake. Anyway, it really is as simple as boy likes boy. That's it.
Yep.
This series is honestly heartbreaking with how simple and beautiful it is in what it's doing. It's just that story.
It's just It's just 10 out of 10 execution.
Uh-huh.
Turns out that kind of story is worth watching if it's really sweet and nicely told and like genuinely kind of funny here and there. And is just beautifully fucking rendered. You can see on the poster there. This is this is the early 90s anime that looks the way you remember early 90s anime looking, instead of the way early 90s anime looks when you go back and actually watch it. It's fucking gorgeous.
As an animation style, it's in conversation with Kowloon generic romance.
Yeah, this is the one that comes before that kind of thing, because this is like it's a bit fluffier, it's a bit puffier, it's more like the 80s stuff. Whereas generic romance is getting more into that spiky mid-90s style, which is going to eventually morph into fucking Keiji Goto late 90s. Everything is so fucking shiny and pointy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, this looks like shit like Orange Road.
Yeah.
It's not quite Ranma, but it's all of the things that were inspired by how Ranma looked.
Yep. Yeah, that very particular era where the first shonen and the first shoujo morph together has happened.
Yeah. Oh, the fucking the blue-haired occult club president girl with the headband that goes across the top of the fringe, but it doesn't go all the way around the head. It just vanishes into the fringe because the fringe is this huge puffy thing.
Her name is Reiko, by the way.
You might never have seen this if you didn't watch anime of this vintage, but that's such a weird, distinctive thing to see in a show these days. It's so strange.
And the style is entirely diegetic. Well, the style is diegetic, right? Like, this is not set in the 90s. This is set now. These characters are interacting with smartphones and the everyday of the now. The thing is, this means that this is just how the world looks to Nakamura, which means that the narrative of Go For It Nakamura is saying gay people just see a more stylish world than the rest of us.
I would not read that much into it.
Nah.
It is just how the world looks.
Yeah.
We don't see it through anyone else's eyes, so who knows?
It also has one of the, and I know what's coming up in this playlist, but it has one of the most genuinely heartbreaking pieces of animation I've seen this season.
Oh, yeah.
That one of the episodes...
The real tragedy scene is very beautiful.
Every episode ends with a unique animation and a new city pop track. Well, not new. It's a cover of a classic.
The soundtrack is impeccable.
Yeah, the music in this is incredible.
Holy shit.
Except one episode where Nakamura's heart is broken. And instead what you get is the sounds of his mum and his sister in another room watching the TV and Nakamura crying. And they play it across the whole of the credits, and it's brutal.
No, I'm tearing up just a little thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh. Beautifully done.
Yeah. It is so very true to how it feels. And it is so heartfelt in that. Especially with things like the fact that Nakamura, just a little bit of a freak. Just a little bit of a freak.
We're a little bit of freak when we're teenage.
Yeah.
And now.
He's got kinks. He doesn't talk about them much, but they're there. You can tell.
I like that one bit in the opening where it's like, oh, yeah, I know who this is for. It's definitely not going to happen in the show, but I know what you're doing.
Yeah, in fact, the specific incident that references from the manga is an incident that happens in the story at a point in the story that we have already passed. So it's like very much going like, we're not going to show you that bit. It's not coming up. We're not doing that.
But shout out to everyone who read it.
Yeah. Big ups to the freaks out there.
Also, just extraordinary to just hear a fucking anime protagonist say things like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Or at one point, wait, am I bi?
Yeah.
Christ. Even the shows that are don't get to say it.
Yep. No notes.
No,
actually, no. One note.
One note?
Don't harass mangaka on Twitter, you freaks.
Who did that?
Apparently, Hyundai has deleted her online presence because people in the West were big freaks about her.
Back the fuck off.
Yeah. Just, there is no problem too great in our fandom that we will not in some way address by finding a woman to harass.
I know, it's terrible, Ellie. I agree.
All right. Yeah, was this to make you shut up? Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm downloading every song from the ending of this.
But don't worry, we're almost done.
Oh, fuck.
Eren the Southpaw.
I really thought we were almost done talking.
We are almost done talking.
Gonna-
I don't have a lot to say about this one.
I do. It's complexly bad instead of boringly bad.
What's it called?
Oh, sorry. Hidari Kiki no Eren.
Yes. Which is a web manga series written and illustrated by Cappy. And it was on the Cakes web manga service. It was then remade by Nifany on Shonen Jump Plus. And has been since collected into 24 volumes.
Jesus, so much of this.
It got a 10-episode TV drama. And now, Signal MD and Production IG are giving us an anime.
All right, well, this is a show about Koichi. For some reason, I can remember his fucking name. A guy who was kind of good at drawing. And was encouraged to keep drawing when he was young, as many of us are. But he was, content to just draw because he liked it and not be particularly ambitious or visionary or anything. Until a fellow student at his school, Eren, vandalized the shit out of a mural he painted for the school and told him it was garbage. And that permanently deformed his relationship with his art. And probably his fetishes.
Yep.
And it kind of makes sense. Like, you get it. When she first shows up, she has a lot of presence. She feels like a very special person. And the series is kind of about him growing up and seeking creative fulfillment. In some kind of way that he can live off. Creative fulfillment as defined by capitalism. Let's shorten it to, because that's really where this show generally winds up going. And we follow his lack of fulfillment as he becomes an advertising creative, because he's gonna put his mark on the world as a creative visionary through selling coke or some shit. Because that's how you achieve fulfillment as an artist. Mm-hmm. Great, Koichi. Just fantastic. And in the background, several characters he interacts with bounce off each other and have their own relationships with their artistic pursuits, some of which are more valid than others, and all of which are generally lit by the tone of proper creative people are special in a way that you can't really achieve or understand if you're not. And they all kind of magically get it about each other. And they're right to disrespect you.
You might remember this as the phrase, the hardest thing in the world is being a mangaka.
It's a little bit of that.
A mangaka.
And, like, I wanted to see where it was going, because there is a lot of interesting discussion to be had there of the relationship between creativity and commercial art.
But this doesn't have it.
We've talked about a lot of really fucking good anime. That's all commercial art.
Yeah, they're all ads.
It's not invalid as art because it's created to make someone money. But hearing a fucking office guy talk about something like building a fucking ad campaign for a makeup brand as if that's high art is very difficult to enjoy, and I wasn't sure whether the series was making a point with that or not. Like, I wanted to see where it would come down, and based on this season, it hasn't. Everything just kind of happens, and nothing is really... I don't know, is this getting a second core? Is it just getting 14 episodes or something? We've watched all of it that we were able to find, but nothing felt like it ended or concluded or gave any kind of satisfying resolution. The last thing we see is, like, Eren, who we barely see throughout the series, despite it being named after her. It's more about how she impacts other people than actually about her, which is a huge mistake, because she's much more interesting than anyone else in this fucking show. But But she, at one point, moves to America with Koichi's ex-girlfriend, a profoundly autistic woman who built her life and sense of identity around making him successful. Like, when she's a teenager and she kind of has a crush on him, we find out she has a Koichi notebook where she has planned everything she's going to do to make his life work.
Mm-hmm.
That's the level that we're on. Anyway, he fucks up his relationship with her because he fucks up everything because he's a fuck up. And she and Eren moved to America together to make Eren successful as a graffiti artist, which apparently you attain true artistic integrity by paying someone to pretend to be you in a parkour vandalism video. That seems legitimate to me and not at all fucking pretentious and bullshit. But hey, is whatever. And we've been seeing this in the ending sequence the whole way along, these two living together and having like a really cute, extremely suggestively gay life, just hanging out and being gal pals. And we're like, finally, we'll get to see some of this. And the next time we revisit their scenario, it's because they're breaking up and Eren has to go home. It is some fucking bullshit. And that's the last thing in the show, basically. Eren being like, I'm gonna go back to Japan. Is something interesting gonna happen? You'll never know. Read the series, I guess. Anyway, it's profoundly disappointing.
2 points.
Yep.
1, opening and ending, bangers.
Bangers.
2, whoever wrote this
Mm-hmm.
wants me to pay attention to their opinions on art. And having watched this, I don't trust them to have any opinions on art.
I'd love to know what their opinions on art are, because I couldn't find them in this show.
They had 13 episodes to make their point, and
Yeah.
this is what they presented me with, and what I am coming away from this is not, this is what this story is, these are the themes of this story, this is what these characters symbolize, this is what this art represents. Instead, I'm coming away going, Jesus Christ, they'll let anyone make an anime these days.
A lot of stuff happened, and nothing seems to have a through line that, like, it
I feel like you're missing what I'm getting at.
No, I agree. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I hate this. I hate this so intensely that I hate the person who made it. I hate the way they choose to express themselves, and I hate the things they are trying to use to represent themselves. It reminds me of Life is Strange, a piece of work so bad that anything that this person touches afterwards, I'm probably going to skip. This is garbage.
I'm not really, like, obviously, I do not feel that strongly about the author.
Yeah, and that, by the way, garbage, not a statement of quality on art. It's not a model of art. It's an insult. I'm just saying they did shit work. Not that, well, this doesn't count as art.
I do think this is bad and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like, there was so much interesting that it could have been, and it's not, and I came out of it going, what do you actually fucking think about any of this? It is just a bunch of stuff that happens. I don't actually know what you're trying to do aside from show me a bunch of stuff that happened. And, like, I wonder if that's because there's 28 volumes of it, and maybe it was more like an anthology, and the pacing was much better, and, like, all of this is a possibility. Talen's shaking his head, but all of this was a possibility. I don't care whether it actually is the truth or not. There's a lot of room for this to have been something better originally. Yeah. But I will not ever know, because I dislike it enough based on this anime that I do not want more of it in my life.
This year I read all of Mega Tokyo.
Oof.
I think Mega Tokyo is better structured than Eren the Southpaw.
Gosh, that's quite something.
And I think that my personal high watermark for, like, this is the thing I'm going to point to for how bad Eren the Southpaw is. Eren the Southpaw doesn't have a TV tropes page. No one cares. And no one should care.
Yeah.
This has failed to capture the imagination of the most list-humping wiki writers in the world.
Yep. It's not good.
You good?
Yep.
All right. Because, of course, this is where we were always going to wind up.
No, it's Awajima!
Scenes from Awajima.
Awajima Hyake. Or 100 scenes of Awajima, more accurately translated. And I don't know why they fucking left that out, because I think that's a much stronger title.
This is written and illustrated by Takako Shimura. and was serialized on the Poco Poco website by Ota Publishing from 2011 to 2016. This is 10 years old. Ellie is delighted.
This is a contemplative anthology series centering around a girls' performing arts school, which follows a bunch of characters in a bunch of eras, in a bunch of loosely connected plots about their time at this school and what they did with themselves after, and the ones who succeeded and the ones who failed and the ones who were horribly bullied and the ones for whom it was the best time of their life and the ones for whom they're just getting started there and don't know what to think of it yet. And it's sort of tied together by an arc plot where a character is investigating a particular incident of bullying related to a particularly promising student who bailed out at one point, and at the start of the series, we find out about her because she's just died as a nobody housewife. But it would be wrong to say that that's like the central plot of it or the important part of it or anything, because it's all just about relationships between women and what they have done to hurt each other and what they have done to help each other. If there's any unifying theme, I think it's one of healing generational trauma. Like, they talk about the bad stuff still happening, and the arc plot concludes with a lot of a lot of the dialogue about, is this real? Is this a problem? Is this still happening? But through what we've seen, I at least came away with the impression that it was about how this has gotten better over time, because the people impacted by it have been more and more mindful. But it's very much not a singular plot. It's very much an anthology series, and you are here to enjoy the scenes for what they are, which is essentially dramatic vignettes exploring a whole bunch of lives.
And a lot of really authentic feelings. I do want to offer one small bit of pushback.
Yeah.
There's one story in all of this that is not about as known women students of Awajima. There's the story in the middle of the well, not in the middle, like I think it's episode 4. It is episode 4 of Takato and Sayaka.
Yes.
The two boys who don't go to Awajima, but
they can't go to Awajima.
And talking about how they wish they were girls so they could enroll. That's a whole set of feelings right there.
Exactly as such. In fact, as I recall, one of them is quite firm on, like, I had those thoughts, but I'm sure I'm happy as this.
Yeah.
As long as it's okay for me to be this and to like this, and to not have people be shitty and weird at me about it. The younger one, I could definitely see.
Yeah. Takato.
Takato, yes. Making a go of it, as it were. But yeah, this is not a show that is blithely unaware of queerness. It's never actually called Takarazaka or anything.
No.
But it's women's only theater where the biggest stars are the girls who play the pretty boys.
Yeah. The princes, they call them.
Yes. They're always the hottest ones. So I'm sure there's a line where you're not, like, in the real instances of this, you're supposed to pretend that there's nothing gay about it. But this show at least understands that, like, if nothing else, the queer semiotics are off the charts.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of frank discussion of girls just going, yeah, I was in love with her. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yep. Very heartfelt, very sincere, very beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Slow, melancholy.
Yeah, I definitely needed it. Well, I structure the playlist when we watch this stuff. I definitely needed to make sure this was not too close to something like Marriage Toxin or anything like that, because that's really exciting and gets it flowing. Whereas this is much more about stopping and sitting and listening.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing that got me to watch it is that it is Takako Shimura, who, amongst other things, is responsible for Wandering Sun, a 10-year-long manga about a trans girl. So I'm sitting here going like, oh no, what's this series gonna do? And yeah, what it does.
I was a little surprised that we didn't confirmed meet a trans girl in the cast.
Yeah,
it definitely seemed like they were going for it here and there, but never quite declared.
Though also, like, I think
a lot of eggy stuff is said.
Yeah, it's very sincere in that. And as far as the Takazakura review goes, the story as I understand it is that there is no homosexual activity at the Takazakura review, said in the same tone of voice as there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, yeah.
Specifically because the only people who would be asking about that are fucking cops.
Ah, yes.
Because during the 60s, a Takazakura prince was arrested for public indecency because she went on a date with another woman. And after that point, the fan club closed ranks, and their stance is now there are no homosexual activities at the Takazakura review. And they have a guide on how to talk to police about this in the fan kit. So,
wow, yep.
Like, I know it's fanciful whenever you watch an anime about something Takazakura like that just seems to go right up to the line and not say it, but I kind of feel a little warm about that as a culture of like
part of the authenticity.
Yeah, and that whole we don't talk to cops element of it.
Always respect. We don't fucking talk to cops.
And apparently, if you do a really good job in the fan club, they give you a sash when there's a graduation, and the sash is made out of a prince's outfit, which is pretty fucking cool.
A lot of crushes in my past where I would have loved to have one of their old shirts or something.
Yeah, it's a really fantastic series. It's fascinatingly annoying to talk about because there's a lot of stuff which I would normally just go, you could show this to normies. Like Journal with Witch, I think Journal with Witch could be shown to a normie and it would work just perfectly as like, this is just a TV drama about something really intense and emotional that uses the fact that it's animated to do a lot of scene transitions you just can't do with physical.
It's a really fucking mature story that is animated because they wanted to animate it.
Yeah. And I said, like, this season, there's like 4 things that are great bangers to watch, and they're lots of fun and they're actiony, but also they're all long haulers. I'm signing you up to watch 100 episodes of something, and it might start sucking around episode 20.
It's true. This is a get your 13 episodes in.
But Scenes from Awajima is so intensely Japanese, it's so intensely personal, and it's a bummer. It's a great bummer. You sit with the sadness.
Yeah. It's not trying to make you feel good.
But this is definitely... Because, like, the reason I want to put this after Eren the Southpaw is that I think that Scenes from Awajima will make you better as a viewer at thinking about art.
A thing Eren definitely will not do.
Yeah.
Except in as much as it makes you angry at what it doesn't have to say about art.
Yeah. And with that, that's everything we watched this season.
That is everything we watched this season. This is a recommend if you didn't pick up on that one.
Oh yeah, well of this season,
have a good sad time.
Of this season, like I would recommend almost everything we watched to after a certain point. Like Eren was bad, and Agents of the Four Seasons was bad, but after that, it's what Always a Catch is pretty good.
The next worst thing is Always a Catch, and I said at the beginning, it's not bad. In fact, it's good.
And Ascendance of a Bookworm.
I stand by that.
Season 4 of Ascendance of a Bookworm is a bit weak. But other than that...
What is it that Christmas Town says? Housebroken?
Yeah.
We're like a bit housebroken for Bookworm at this point.
Yeah.
As you say, sunk costs.
Yeah. But like, Mal, Ramparts of Ice, Demons of the Shadow Realm, Hat Atelier, MARRIAGETOXIN, Akane-Banashi, Liar Game.
Good shit this season. And half of it's just keeping going.
Yeah. Go for it, Nakamura-Kun is the only thing here that counts as like a complete story in 13 episodes. And even then, it's got a sequel.
I was going to say, isn't it getting a second season?
Yeah. I don't know if it's getting a second season. I know it's got a sequel manga. called Go For It Again, Nakamura-Kun!
I mean, what is that by any other name? Like, sometimes anime seasons just have different names, like Slayers and Slayers Next.
Yeah. Anyway,
that
was heaps of fun. Thank you so much for talking about anime with me. I love you so much, and your time is, as always, a gift.
Always a pleasure.
Do you think anyone noticed that the slideshow this time was literally stills and it's all one flat image?
I mean, I didn't.
Yep.